Hey guys, welcome to the last video of the year. Finally! Sorry I missed last week. I was sick. Have a little cough still, but wanted to get this out to you guys because this is going to be my what I read this year video. This is the first time I'm doing this type of video where I show you everything I read. I got the idea from some of the YouTubers I watch. I'll post their channels and a video that I see. So, I did get a reading journal, and it's a clockwork reader. So this is the reading journal I use. See, I have like to be read, and it shows all the books that I have read this year. So I will be referencing it because some of the books are on my Kindle, and I'm currently reading books on there still. So the first book I read this year was The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Of course, tabbed it. I really enjoyed it. I was also an avid movie watcher of this. I love the movie. So I really enjoyed the book, and then I learned out there was 3 more. So yeah. Then another book I read was The Unhoneymooners. This was my favorite romance book I have ever read. She's a new author to me this year. And after I read it, I was like, oh my gosh. It was like a slow burn read for me, but man, once it got good, And then I read Divergent. I did not read it when it first came out. I didn't really annotate this either, just because I didn't feel like annotating it very much. But yeah, I read Divergent. I really enjoyed the book. There's a lot of differences compared to the movie. And then I read Flipped. This is my favorite story that's kind of based in the 1950s. It's a dual point of view from Bryce and Julie. And it's just my all-time favorite movie. I watch it every time I want that kind of first love romance movie. Definitely love this. And the back is even cool because it has his view, and then you flip it over and it has her view. It's pretty good. And then the first series I finished this year is, you can see it, but wrong book. The Summer I Turned Pretty series. Oh my gosh. I learned about the show coming out, and I watched the first season, and I was like, wow, I had the worst show hangover ever in history. So I picked up the first book, and I annotated the crap out of it. I was like, I need to know what happens. And then I kept reading, and this was the first series I finished this year. Well, I think it's the only series I have finished this year. So I'm really proud of myself with this. And it's like, this is like my favorite series. Next, if you watched my last video, you know I read my first manga, Fairy Tale, the first one. I really enjoyed it. I read this in a day, and that shocked me to my core. I was like, I'm a really slow reader, and reading this in a day was like, whoa! And learning how to read it was pretty cool. I still got confused. I had to reread a little bit, but I really enjoyed Fairy Tale. And then for the last physical book I read Insurgent. This one I did end up tabbing a little bit, but not much. I can't even remember what I tabbed. Oh, just the romance. Because this book is a really slow burn romance. And I was like, eek. So then, to the journal, the books that I don't physically have that I read this year. So one of the Kindle books I read was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I'm still reading the series. I'm on Prisoner of Azkaban right now. And then you can also see my ratings. I did the Court of Thorns and Roses, I didn't really like. That's just me. Don't hate. And then I read Blindsided, which was a really interesting book. And then there is one book I DNF'd this year, which was the Spanish Love Deception. I did not enjoy it. It was really slow for me. So, your girl. Oh, and then I read Princess Diaries. I really didn't like the book very much. I gave it 2 stars. I like the movie more. One of my 5-star reads, though, this year was Go the Distance, which is the Twisted series that Disney did. Like, what if Meg had to become a Greek god? It was good. I really enjoyed that book. And then I talked about those already. And then my favorite Disney movie, Avalon High. I did read the book. A lot of things were different in the book than from the movie, and it really threw me off a little bit. So yeah. And then Murder Mystery, and then There Were None. I read this back in I think freshman year, and then I just reread it, and it didn't feel the same to me. Then I followed the bandwagon, and I read The Deal by L. Kennedy. Loved it. I gave it 3 stars, which is like an average for me. And then that's about all the books I read this year. And of course, I am reading, hopefully I'm hoping to finish Harry Potter. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. So yeah, those are all the books I read this year. I really enjoyed reading. I really got into reading the past year, and I can't wait for next year. So that's all I have. And this is last video of the year, so I'll see you guys in 2023. Bye.